are going through a strange phase of market where it looks like it really is happening with businesses and they are loading up while they still can, and retail guys are still in ambiguity. Will it go up? Will it go down? Or will it stay here? That's a huge question everyone is concerned about. Even with all of these development, some uneducated guys without light in their heads says XRP is not involved when it is mentioned all over with all these positive kind of words being used. And XRP is going to zero is what they state. Words become flesh. Let's see what their portfolio will look like after some time. So don't be in denial. This is one of the most powerful thing which is happening right now with XRP. Look at this news. It really is extreme end of positivity. It looks like this is the one of most powerful thing happening with XRP, and it really looks like this one is changing everything, right? As we can understand, within a week we may even see much more powerful news is coming out with the swell, because they are kind of showing you this. RippleNet's competitive advantage will come to life at Ripple's Swell Global. Let's see how this is going to turn out. When we say that, keep in mind, it is happening in every area of crypto which really has even a bit of use case, or at least guys thinking that it really has a use case. So we are now seeing massive inflows of money into the crypto market, and are you really prepared to take benefit of this? Because it really looks like there is a huge altcoin season coming in, and while discussing this, you should understand it's not only the retail this time. Fidelity, Vanguard, but a lot of different institutions are leaning into crypto and they are bullish about this particular technology and aspect. This just shows, even though it's 1% of the total assets, it's still $50 million in investment from Square into Bitcoin. Now, when you read through it, you can understand how bullish they are for this particular asset class. Now, are you bullish about this particular asset class when you are seeing all of these stuff? Or are you still in denial? Because this kind of shows you, now when you look at that, it can be negative or positive, but when you read through it, you'll understand the positive stance taken by the Department of Justice there. And along with those, when we go into other news which we have set here now and read through it, you'll understand one thing: it's all happening. Welcome to the Scientific Investor channel, where we discuss crypto and science behind investing regularly. If you saw value for your time, please do support the channel, hit that like and subscribe button. If you would like to extend your support, you can look at the Patreon, PayPal or the XRP wallet address given in the description below. Now, let's jump into the actual matters. So before we lean into the actual matter, we just look at the charts just for a couple of moments. So this is Ethereum on a 4-hour, and you can see some patterns here. What do you actually think about this? Are we popping around the bottom, or are we managing to break above this particular horizontal level and then this particular trend line support pushing the price towards the upper area, which is the resistance? So what we have to look at is, will we break above this area or will we actually go down? Now that was Ethereum. Now this one is XRP on a 4-hour, and this is what you see when you zoom in and look at it. We had a resistance here which we broke above and which is acting as a support now. So the next level which you should be eyeing is just below 0.26, which is acting as a resistance from last 1 month. So if we are able to break above that and make that a support, it's going to turn the market. Now, zooming out on a daily, it looks something like this. We are making higher lows. At the same time, we have made one higher high, another one here. So if we manage to break above that 0.26 mark, it is the change in a daily chart too. So with that, when you understand this, the market is still changing, right? Now, let's look at the fundamental factors which is available there, because now I'll take you to some of the PDF which really looks important to me, because when we are looking at all of these stuff, it kind of changes the entire aspects, right? So look at this one. It is showing what? Cryptocurrency market reactions to regulatory news. So Federal Reserve, a central bank, is studying about how crypto market is managed. Now, this is in the page number 33 of this particular document, but I would like to take you guys to the first thing. What is it? It's about the fintech trends as of now, that is 2020. So let's just jump back into that particular page, and when you actually look at it, this is what you can understand. This is about blockchain will disrupt international money transfer. Okay, we understood. Now, just look at these names mentioned there: Visa, IBM, and Ripple. Get excited, guys, get excited. Visa, IBM, and Ripple. If you go back and check Visa, it's a company which was founded back in 1958 with a 20 billion in revenue, and IBM was a company founded back in 1911 with a 77 billion in revenue, whereas Ripple Labs is not that old. It was founded last decade, 2012, and still when you look at these, you can see them competing with these giants in the market. It's not like there is no other competitors in this particular space, but Ripple has successfully managed to reach on top of this market. Now, when Ripple, the company, is getting so excited about XRP, the asset, should you be excited or not as an XRP investor? Now, why I say so, when you come through this document and read through it, it is so easy to understand. They are pushing the XRP adoption to the next level. Now, when we say that, you have to understand they are trying to push the XRP usage to that scale which the payment industry is needing now. Now, that being said, when we move through this, what are they looking at? In last year, blockchain has emerged as a promising approach in the money transfer field. Now, one is backed by business to business by Visa, then IBM, and Ripple using RippleNet. So that is really huge. Now, when you move through the entire document, what you can understand is they look at the entire space and they give it a time frame from 2020 to 2024. Yesterday we saw documents looking till 2024, and what was it about? It was about the ISO 20022. Now, I actually detail all those in last video, so I won't actually go through all of that, but this really makes sense that blockchain will disrupt this industry. And in another report, which I would like to take you guys through, is this one. DigiFin report. In this one, when we are moving into page number 14, you get to see this. Those using underlying cryptocurrencies such as XRP and Lumens, which is Stellar Lumens, anticipate the arrival of a digital fiat. Now, are we looking at digital fiats, meaning the central bank digital currencies? This is one of a study showing that cross-border settlements using central bank digital currency, how it can be used. Then design choice of central bank digital currency. So where are we really headed? We are really headed in that direction where you would be looking at that digital fiat. So what are XRP, XLM and all prepared for? Those using underlying cryptocurrencies such as XRP and Lumens anticipate the arrival of digital fiat, central bank digital currencies, would give such payment business a massive shot in the arm, except in the case of US government issuing its own Fed coin. Now, what you have to understand is, in this one, when you are reading, you have to think in both manner. You are looking at everything from every aspect and then understanding that IBM is using Lumen here in this aspect, and then Ripple, the company, is using XRP. So when you are talking about the entire stuff in an aspect where central bank digital currencies are coming out, you really have to look at these. The lowest volatility among cryptocurrencies is displayed by some of those among them which have not been long in existence, namely XRP. That is cool. Then OM. Now, they are actually talking about the standard deviation and all. That's in the math side. But next one is XLM and then TRX. So when you look at that, they are naming XRP and Lumens together in a report, stating that they are kind of stable compared to all others in that market space. And here it states they anticipate the arrival of digital fiat. And what is really happening now? If you look around, you can understand it really is happening. The digital fiats are kind of rolling out. So were their anticipations wrong, or did they make it a right direction? Now, this particular document, it's actually a huge document from a financial inclusion in the technology-led globalization. So they are talking about the entire Arabic region and the adoption in that area. So one of the area which we should focus is cross-border retail payments and prospects of Arab region. So considering that region as an entire one, they're looking now, yes, they do explain it as ex-current as the usage, but they also highlight that they can use this one. They haven't started using it. You know that all the regulatory clarity issue and all, but do understand all of these studies, researchers are focusing on something as of now because they don't have the regulatory clarity. But as soon as the regulatory clarity hits the market, it's going to push the adoption. Now, that being said, at the same time, you do have to understand everyone is looking at a wholesale central bank digital currency for first to start with, and then it may move into a retail one. But for the first aspect, which is a wholesale central bank digital currency, this particular document put out by Ripple yesterday makes a lot of sense. Fund instant cross-border payments with a line of credit from RippleNet. So if you read through that, RippleNet is allowing them to source on-demand liquidity without those capital. Now, who are they targeting? They are targeting institutions, small and medium size, not the huge guys. Why? Because the limited access to working capital is one of the biggest barriers to growth for many companies. Unlike the incumbents, meaning the huge giant guys like Citibank, JPM and all, who have a big giant balance sheet, it's not actually a big issue for them to manage these liquidity because they already have that one. They don't need to source that liquidity from outside. But if you look at small and medium enterprises, what you can see is they really need support. And as of now, which we can understand, is we are going through an economic crisis where institutions are having issues funding capital. Now, yeah, I'll actually come through all of these documents as well, but this is where I was actually taking you guys to. SWIFT add fast cross-border payments for SMBs, small medium businesses. So if small medium businesses are to go with SWIFT to use their payment system, will it be better for them to use on-demand liquidity where they don't need to manage that much capital just to process those payments? Will it be making sense for them to use SWIFT for that one, or Ripple and XRP for that one? Because this gives them the ability to use that capital instantly. They don't need to keep that capital there. So that is one of the aspects where Ripple, the company, stands out even in these kind of competition phase. Now, yes, competition is ramping up. SWIFT has its own network in which you understand a hell lot of partnerships are there because it's a 40-year-old institution. But as I showed you initially in the comparison between Visa, IBM and Ripple, even though they are a new company within the last decade, they managed to reach this position this fast. So if you believe them, you have to believe that they are the giant holders of XRP. So it's in their direction towards reaching that higher price of XRP because it doesn't actually make us rich. It makes them ultra wealthy. So will it be in their item to just push the price down or to ramp up the adoption and push the price up? Now, you may disagree, debate, argue on different perspectives of that one, but in long-term viewpoint, it is the case, even if you don't agree with it in a short term. Why? Because when they talk about the Internet of Value, they are looking at different solutions. Ashish Birla put this one out. We are providing customers with financial solutions that were once only available through legacy systems. Now, without the cost and overhead, this is the first of many more to come, and highlighting Internet of Value that has to be taken with care. Internet of Value. Now, as we just stated, Square is putting 50 million investment into Bitcoin. This one comes out from Ron. Now, what you have to understand is Ron Paul Pal is actually kind of huge investor, macro investor guy who was being repeatedly interviewed in many areas, and he's an established investor, kind of an expert you can say in this particular arena. So looking at the economic crisis, which is looking like 1920s, 1930s, a possibility for a great economic depression, he is talking that a huge, enormous wall of money is coming into entire Bitcoin and crypto sphere. Now, he also highlights in that video that for them there is no much of a plumbing there which exists to push that money through now. Because if they want to invest 10 billion today, they can't do that. They can only put in a little by little so that they are not impacting the market in a huge manner. So you have to understand that's not a one-day thing. It will take time. It's like a slow accumulation phase. Or even if you compare, say whales are taking profit, will they take everything in a second? No. They would create a distribution phase in which retail guys will think, yes, it's a reaccumulation phase and it's going to go up from here. And that's where the entire market psychology and the market cycle works. So when we understand the entire stuff about central bank digital currency, this gets into our attention. You have to know that SWIFT is a centralized system, and this is why you actually need a decentralized system. The country is just kicking off SWIFT. Why? Because they don't want that cross-border transactions. Now, it's depending on the political scenario of that country, but still, because of it's a decentralized, if it was a decentralized system, that wouldn't be happening there. Now, again, the talks of crypto tax and all is coming out. South Korea may review crypto tax law ahead of 2021 regulations. So what are first they looking at? They're looking at 2021 regulations, and then before that they would like to put tax here. Why? If a country like South Korea, one of the advanced economies in Asia, is looking at this, they understand that this is not going away. This is the future of assets. Previously, if you look at that, it was like real estate, gold and other stuff. Even though all of those exist now, the change is the age. If you look at, say, some countries, China, India and all, you can see the average age of the entire population is way low. So the investing mentality of those population is also changing, because all of those are exposed to internet, digital assets and different investment products. They're not only looking at gold, and we are not at a war where your currency is going sky high in inflation and all. Yeah, for some nations like Venezuela and all, it's happening, but not everywhere. But still, they would be looking to increase their purchasing power, right? And that is why banks are looking at this. Banks must be allowed to let customers store Bitcoin and cryptocurrencies, says top US regulator. Now, why is he really saying that? You have to understand, Brian Brooks is kind of a bull in this market, and he is trying to push this towards that area where adoption is there. Now, why is he saying that? If it is not happening, the boomers or those in that age range may still go with the banks, gold and other stuff, but most of the young guys, the smart guys, the educated guys of this century, say let it be even the Bitcoin bull or anyone, it's not a competition between within the digital assets like XRP towards Bitcoin and all. That's a different story in the technological side. But as an investor, when you're looking, say, you can see Anthony Pompliano, he states different aspects about XRP. That's a different story. But about the general economy, the geopolitical scenario is right on majority of the things, right? So in that aspect, we can see young investors coming into this particular asset class. Now, why are they coming into this asset class? It really makes sense for them to do so. Now, that's a bit slow there, but yeah, that news is actually about expanding. DLocal, which is a partner of Ripple, expanding in a new area. Now that is in the Caribbean and Latin America. So that expansion gives another reach for that multi-hop facility in the Ripple net to push through a new area. Now, that being said, you have to understand all of these are API based payment technology, what we are talking about here. So here when you read leveraging a proprietary and flexible API based payment technology platform, DLocal now supports over 300 local payments in 23 emerging market countries. The population is high there, the remittance would be going more there. That is the core market for remittance, right? If you look at that, you'll understand India is the #1 area where remittance goes to. So now in that aspect, Ripple the company has already targeted these locations and is they establishing their companies there. Now that being said, we have to understand the company is trying to move outside of US because of their regulatory clarity issue. But personally, I believe even when they are stating this, government and regulators are taking this into concern. Why? As I stated before, they are not a company which is so small and unrecognizable. They are a company which is being recognized in this sphere. So if they, the CEO, the chairman of the company is stating that we may push outside from US, regulators are going to accelerate. It's not just because it's one company and it's doing disruptive things in that space. It's because if Ripple the company does this, a lot of others would follow. Now that's kind of the herd mentality in that idea, but still that will happen and that won't be suitable or supportive for the entire US economy. I hope you guys actually received value for your time, and if you did, please do support the channel, hit that like and subscribe button if you haven't done that already. If you'd like to extend your support, you can use the Patreon, PayPal or the XRP wallet address given in the description below. I'll meet you guys on the next video. Bye for now.